Hello, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know there's going to be people trickling in. I got some messages, people coming, even at 7 o'clock because they want to make sure their voices are heard. But we're going to do very quick opening remarks, and then I'm going to pass it off to my counterpart, Hannah, who will kind of give the logistics and why we're here. But Anine Kinawea, or hello everybody. My name is Dr. Chloe Cannon. I'm really excited to see so many familiar faces and people I haven't met. This is really exciting to see this many people who care about our community. I'm an educator, I'm a Sioux Tribe member, and I'm an organizer, and I'm also the leader of EUP Solidarity. I want to first thank everyone and share a lot of gratitude for everyone who made this possible. People who have been circulating flyers, sharing this on social media, those of you who are texting and calling your neighbors and your family members, you're making a difference. To Christy and Jerusha out there who are working the door, Jill, Kacher and her children for getting the board set up, and I really also want to thank Hannah Burton Parrish, my other EUP Solidarity leadership counterpart, who this wouldn't be put on if it wasn't for her. So if we could give her a quick round of applause. This one, she's incredible. But this really wouldn't have been possible without all of you showing up for your community. Some of the handouts that you saw outside, you're going to find our mission and vision. For the sake of time, I'm not going to read it, but ultimately at EUP Solidarity, we're committed to fostering a EUP community where all people can live with dignity and thrive. We're a big tent community, which means that we don't have to agree on everything for you to belong here and for you to get involved. So if you're concerned about the billionaire takeover, the drastic cuts to our social safety net, the rising income inequality of this country, climate change, the threat to tribal sovereignty, the threat to our civil liberties, or the deterioration of our democracy, you are welcome here. If you love your neighbors and care about the working people of this town, you are welcome here. If you care deeply just about one of these causes, we want you to get involved, because we need everyone to stand up for our community, and we need to do it in a coalitional way. This is a local grassroots effort that was started by a few women in my living room. We have never received a single dollar from any outside organization, and we are deeply rooted and committed to fighting for this community and everyone in it. We have a lot on deck this summer as we want to start doing a lot of different things. We want to start building capacity for youth organizing. We want to begin organizing workers, and that's all workers. We want to increase civic engagement. We want to build coalitions with local groups around community change. Some of this includes helping Up North Advocacy. Calvin, wave your hand in the back. That's our director of Up North Advocacy. With gathering signatures for progressive ballot initiatives. He's going to be leading a lot of that work and working in coalition, direct democracy to get these things passed. Hosting candidates who are running for federal and state office for community members to directly ask them about their platform. We are securing people who are running for various offices for state and federal to be coming here and meeting with all of you so you can directly ask them your questions. And then we want to help gather elected officials for a nonpartisan event to discuss how they are responding to the federal cuts and what their office does, and also providing opportunities for people to learn how they can run for public office, because that is a major need in our community, and there are many of you out here who are leaders, and I believe that you should be running and standing up for our community. And of course, hosting community events. We are better when we are together, and I know COVID did a lot to our community, but we need to bring people back together in coalition. So please make sure to get on our email list to learn more. If you want to jump in sooner, there are opportunities to get involved this weekend. There are two major opportunities. One is you can caravan with us to Marquette for Voters Not Donors. We found Jack Bergman. He is headlining a Republican fundraiser in Marquette. It is $850 a sponsor table. And so there are indivisible groups and nonprofits across Congressional District 1 that are coming in. People as far as Traverse City are coming to this event. We're going to be making our voices heard from 4:30 to 6:30. And then the Lake Superior Region Indivisible Group is going to be providing foods and drinks to all the people who are making their voices heard at Marquette Commons from 7 to 9 o'clock. So please, if you would like to come to that, you can message EUP Solidarity. We're going to have a caravan leaving from the Walmart parking lot at 12:30. Or if you want to stay closer in town, if you're like, that's a long drive for me, EUP Indivisible, which is another local group in the area we do a lot of work with, are doing the Bridging Our Friendship rally in honor of our support and our friendship with Canada. And so Kim Newman, are you in the back here? I don't know if Linda Press is here, but Kim Newman has done a lot, and there's Linda, who run EUP Indivisible, and so they're doing a lot of work with that, so please make sure to get a hold of them. Also, we have, just so people know, we are selling Where's Bergman yard signs and car magnets for $20. It's to pay for things like this room that I rented that's on my credit card, because we don't take outside donations. We are trying to work within the community and do that work. And the more that we stand together and do things like spotlighting our congressman's absence, the easier it is for people to stand up for community when things get hard. We need you in this fight. Thank you for being here tonight to make your voices heard and advocating for your families, neighbors, co-workers, and children. We are stronger together. If you want to continue to get involved in different ways, we need all of you. Whether you have, you can show up to a protest, or whether you want to get more involved in our efforts, please get on our email list. It would be great. So thank you so much. I would like to pass this over to my counterpart. Let's give her a big round of applause, because this would not have been possible without her, Hannah Burton-Terry.
Thank you, Chloe. I love how Chloe's just trying to pass all the gratitude on to me when she has been working her butt off to make this all possible. So let's give Dr. But I really would like to just get down to why we're here tonight, which is our Congressman, Jack Bergman, is not responding to any of our calls, emails, letters, carrier pigeon, showing up to his door. So I don't know if anybody in the audience has had any different experience. I doubt it, because, among all the many people that we've spoken to, this has been a common experience. But before we get into the logistics of how tonight's going to go, I want to just share a little information about our congressman for anybody who may not be super familiar. So Jack Bergman is Michigan 1st District Congressman for the House of Representatives. So he represents our district, which is the entire UP and the tip of the Mitt. So that's a very large district. His job is multifaceted, but his main purpose is to propose and vote on legislation, oversee and investigate actions that the executive branch takes. So, hello, that's really important right now. And federal agencies to ensure that funds are appropriated appropriately and that the law is being upheld. And it's also to represent his constituents, which is us. So Jack has been in office since 2017, and that is the one and only time he held a town hall, actually. So he's been playing this game for a long time. He will lead you to believe that this is a more recent decision. Actually, we just had some press, and the Sioux Evening News reached out to his office to comment about tonight's event, and he said that he does not go to any, billionaire George Soros funded events acting like this is, first of all, that we are funded, which we're not, and second of all, that this is something new that he just decided. And when you look at his track record, that's, I wonder what his excuse was before, since January. Since January, there has been town halls in Escanaba, Traverse City. There's been 2 in Houghton, and he has declined to come to all of them, not surprisingly. So, and additionally, if you say like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to come to us, we've had constituents try to go to him all the way in Washington, D.C., and he's refused to see them. And when he is in district, he will not make his presence known. So I've called his office and said, hey, can you please tell me when our congressman will be in district? Because I'd like to go to one of his offices here and make an appointment. He has offices in Traverse City and in Escanaba, and they will not share that information. So it just makes you wonder, where is Jack? Where is Bergman? So hence the theme of tonight. A little bit also about how we came into the situation and how now we have Mr. Bergman as our congressman. If you think like, hey, if he's been doing this since 2017, why is he still representing us? Well, truth be told, he's run as the unopposed Republican candidate in 3 out of 4 of the last primaries. Yeah, so he's kind of by default, because many people vote straight ballot. They see, oh, I'm a Republican, I want to vote for the Republican, but he was never contested in many of the primaries, so he just kind of got into that spot.
It's time.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Members of the House of Representatives serve 2-year terms and can be reelected an unlimited number of times. So let me ask you this. Will we stand for inadequate representation indefinitely? Will we allow him to run again and again, many times unopposed, just to kind of fill in when he's not doing his job, frankly, and he's misrepresenting his constituents, he's not listening to our voices? Or will we start representing ourselves and uplifting actual voices of people, Michiganders, of people who live here? And lastly, you might have heard, he has a nickname, it's Louisiana Jack, and that is because he is what he calls a snowbird, and he spends much of his time in Louisiana. So he primarily splits his time between Washington, D.C. and Louisiana, and then you really have to think, if he's not even listening to people who live here, and he doesn't live here, what's going on? So tonight we would really like to turn the mic over to all of you and hear from you what you would have to say to your congressman if he was in the room and if he did agree to actually meet with his constituents. So we have Jack here. Thank you for showing up, Jack. So the way that this will work is everybody will have 3 minutes to speak. I have a timer up here so that when you come up to the mic, you can kind of see the countdown, and I'll kind of be standing here to help moderate and keep time. Once your time is over, I ask that you, even if you're kind of in mid-thought, if you just pass it over so that we can be respectful of everybody's time. We will try to get through as many people as possible tonight. Also, I just did want to mention that there are other events going on in the building, so I'm sure we'll have reactions to what other people are saying, whether you agree or disagree, free speech. We're not going to censor anybody, but do try to be mindful of noise levels. And then if for any reason some unruliness happens, we do have public safety available at call, so don't be that person.
No tasers?
No tasers, sorry. The bathrooms are located, if you go out of this room and go back to kind of to the main entrance, as you're facing that brick wall there, the men's is on the left, the women's is on the right, and there's a student working at the front desk by the doors. If you have any questions, they will be able to help you. Okay, with that being said, I think that we are ready to get started. So anybody who has comments to Mr. Bergman can... Oh yes, here, Dr. Cannon.
The one quick housekeeping thing, please make sure the microphone is close to your mouth because this microphone is not that loud. So please just keep that in mind. We want to be able to hear you and we want to be able to send your comments to Representative Bergman, so please keep that in mind. We are going to keep, Hannah and I have decided, we are going to keep going until everybody who has comments says them. We obviously have more than 30 people here. We were going to have only 30 people speak. We are going to remain here until everybody who wants to have their comment heard can. So if you need to leave, please make sure if you want to get involved, you get your email list. I know not all of you are on Facebook, so that's really important. So if you want to get involved, please do that. But you can stay for however long you need. I see a lot of community leaders in here who I know are trying to get data on how the community's feeling, which is excellent. I won't say which ones are here, but that's exciting. And then there's a group of Menominee that also wants to listen to our comments as well, because they're not putting on a town hall, but they want to start to talk about the comments that are going on in similar communities. So this is very exciting. Your words matter, your voice matters. This is going to Bergman's office, and just want to thank you. So.
Thank you. So if we could just have a little queue start up at the microphone, just for sake of time, if people will be ready to speak. Who's a brave soul that wants to get us started? Come on up, sir. I've got the microphone right here so that you can kind of face your congressman here.
Don't hit it with a sign now.
This is one of my big things is VA.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not a veteran, but I think we're really not doing what needs to be done. So I need to face him, hey?
Yes.
Okay.
Just make sure you're close to the microphone. That's it. Speak nice and loud. Thank you.
La la la. Okay, first of all, it's sort of a question, and maybe somebody in the audience can answer this question. Jack Bergman has taken credit for building the Sioux locks, the new lock. And I'm curious as to what his vote was on the infrastructure bill that made most of the lock work possible. No. That's what I thought, but I was a politician once. He's a politician, and part of the deal is you see where the parade's going, and you jump in front of it to act like you're leading it. And I think that's what he did in that case. That was one of my questions to start with. The other thing is, of course, the VA, Social Security Administration. I know I'm just amazed at how many people in our county can favor the policies of Mr. Trump, because most of them are benefiting from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Head Start, free meals, that type of thing. And that's just a comment on my part. The other thing I just want to mention real quickly, and I'll get out of the way, is you mentioned state elections, national elections. We need to be aware of local elections. How does that affect you? You say, well, that doesn't mean much. I was a county commissioner for 10, 12 years, something like that. There's money that has been designated and sent to the local governments. One of the things that was supposed to be done was broadband throughout the county. And they're the people that decide how that money is spent once it comes to the local area. I lobbied for broadband extensively during my tenure there. Unfortunately, I was outnumbered generally 3-2, and never got anywhere. There's still money, I think, available at the county level for extending broadband. I think that's extremely important. Healthcare, whatever. I'm an old man, but I know there are things go on that would help, broadband would help with. So, that's as much as I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Bergman, and I absentia. My name is Bernie Arbic. I grew up in Sault Sainte Marie. Spent most of my career teaching mathematics at Lake Superior State, so I'm right at home. I've lived in 2 other countries. I've lived in 3 other places in the United States. I have 3 concerns I want to bring to your attention. The first is climate change. I feel this is an existential issue. I think that when Trump was reelected, he got us out of the Paris Climate Accord. I think that since then he has done just about everything he can to undermine any efforts we might have made to improve things in the last 10 years. Where do you stand on that, Mr. Bergman? My second concern is the rule of law. I think that Mr. Trump has indicated that he's willing to bend that and totally break it if possible. He's mentioned a 3rd term, for crying out loud. That's unconstitutional. Where do you stand on the rule of law versus the rule of an autocrat? And my 3rd concern, growing up in Sault Sainte Marie on the border with Canada, is the musings about this 51st state nonsense. Canada is a strong ally of ours and a very good neighbor, and I'm deeply upset by the disrespect that the President has shown to Canada and its people. And I say, keep your elbows up, Canadian friends.
Give me 1 second, we're going.
Everybody. I'm not used to audiences.
And then if you ever need a time check.
Oh, okay, just tell me when to stop.
Yes, we'll tell you.
On March 12th, Mr. Bergman, I did call your office. You weren't there. I was disappointed. I live on Sugar Island. My name is Raul Villarreal, and I've been there 50 years. And you say you were in the military, and I know you are. And I consider anybody in the military, it's fantastic. I think it's just wonderful. I never served, but I really have a lot of respect for everybody. But it just falls under patriotism when I hear someone who has served. And my question is very intentional. And the foolishness that's going on in the White House and with all of these other department heads that Mr. Trump has picked, it is foolishness. But one thing that I am a fool for is democracy. And I want to know whose fool are you? So please let me know that. Get back with me, because whose fool are you? Because I'm not Mr. Trump's fool, I know that. So.
My name is Chuck Krusch, and I don't want to repeat what the gentleman before me just said. I agree with him totally. But I'm here to represent Raider Recycling. It's my wife's business. I support it with my retirement fund. And I encourage people to recycle your electronics. And for Jack Bergman, he needs to know that the circuit boards that we dismantle the equipment, the computers, the printers, everything that comes in. Circuit boards get sent to Canada and they get processed there, but all the metals from that gets shared between Canada and the US. It's critical to keep things like lithium batteries out of landfills. Those are time bombs, and we're pushing that on our grandchildren and children to come. It would be a shame to be mining our landfills, but that's where we're headed now. It's so important to get away from a throwaway society. And I just hope that people can realize that the critical materials, the rare earth minerals, the critical, like gallium, things like that, are controlled by China. And if we can use the resources that we have and reuse them, we will be much better, much more secure, and our children will be too. So I just want to leave some of these in the back. And Jack Bergman will listen to us. We're in a different world. But we hope that you can help us locally to do this. We'll be at the Pickford School next week, and my wife will be giving a talk at the Aldo Leopold Festival on May 30th about recycling in the UP. But keep us in mind if you've got some things to throw away. We would appreciate doing it and would help us. We have right now we have 3 tons of TVs that are going to Wisconsin to be recycled. Last year, we recycled 40 tons of TVs. Help us out, help yourself out, help your grandkids out. It's important. Thank you.
I just got through recycling.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I had to type mine up because I needed to make sure I stayed focused and to my 3 minutes. My name is Angela Shappew, and I stand before you not just as a concerned citizen, but as a mother, a teacher, and a longtime member of this community, both Sioux, Michigan, and Sioux, Ontario. I'm here today because I believe that our voices matter, and I believe that when someone is elected to represent us, that they should actually represent us. Not billionaires and not special interests, but the people who live, work, and raise families right here. Right now, our congressman is failing us. Let's be clear. This is not about party lines. This isn't left or right. This is about right and wrong. Because it is wrong to give tax breaks to billionaires while slashing programs that keep our families healthy, our kids educated, and our veterans cared for. This community depends on Medicaid and Medicare to care for our sick and our elderly. We rely on Social Security to give our seniors the dignity that they've earned. We need the U.S. Postal Service, especially in rural areas, to stay connected and get medicine. Our libraries are more than just books. They're safe spaces. They're learning hubs and job resources. The Department of Education is crucial to give our kids a future, ensuring equal access and enforcing civil rights. Our veterans, they deserve more than bumper stickers. They deserve fully funded services and support when they come home. Finally, Head Start helps our youngest learners grow and thrive, providing comprehensive services to so many of our local low-income families and helping those children prepare for school and develop the skills they need for a successful future. When these programs are cut, real people suffer, real families struggle, and real communities, our communities, are left behind. These are not luxuries. These are lifelines. As a teacher, I have seen the impact when kids come to school hungry, when they don't have health care, or when their parents can't afford childcare or transportation. As a mother, I worry about the future we are building, or not building, for the next generation. So today, I am demanding accountability from you, Mr. Jack Bergman. We deserve better. We deserve to be heard, and if you can't listen, then we need someone who will. This is not about politics, this is about people, our people, and we are watching.
Sorry, I don't have a whole lot typed down. I'm not as planned. I just have some bullet points. Oh, speaking of my I'm trying. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm not here to talk about to a congressman about caring for others. But I feel like as a community, we all agree that's very important. And so I want to shed some light on how the VA has helped my family. And even if, our congressman that won't answer our calls is not going to listen to what I have to say, I think it's important to get out there and say it anyways. The VA has helped my family greatly while my grandpa tried to recover from what happened to him with Agent Orange. He sadly passed a couple of weeks ago, which is why this is such an important topic to me, is how the VA has helped us through all of that, through the funds we needed for his his physical therapy, some of his hospital visits, the insurance to cover that. And now my father, as he is dealing with the injuries he's gotten from being exposed to other chemicals in the military. And these are people that have fought for our country. No matter how much you may disagree with the military and what they do and the actions they do, these are still real people in our community that are being affected by this. And it's very clear from him cutting these things, he doesn't care. And he's not gonna listen to me talk to him about empathy. He's a politician. I don't think it's really gonna get through to him there. But it still was important for me to say, I guess, even if he's not really listening. I don't think he's really hearing anything, but that's what I have to say. Woo!
I'm not really the most educated on this. Someone else could probably talk about it better than I could. But if we do decide to get into a war with Canada, because that's what it'll be. It'll be a war. It's not going to be some peaceful takeover to make a 51st state. It will be a war. I know that a lot of northern states like Michigan rely a lot on Canada for things like electricity. And Canada has said that if we do go to war with them, they will cut that electricity. And how are we going to deal with that? And, any of us can see, just looking across the river, there are other things we rely on, the steel plant. And what are we going to do if Canada revokes our access to that? What are we going to do if we do, for some stupid reason, decide to get in a war with, like you said, our greatest ally? Thank you.
Yeah, be able to see that.
My name is Rich Hill, and I've been a resident of Sault Sainte Marie for most of my life. I've been a businessman, a writer, a deckhand on the Great Lakes Freighters, and I tell you, I have never been so disgusted by what's happening in Washington. I mean, it's just, my kids ask me about it, and I say, no, it hasn't always been this bad, but I am just thoroughly disgusted. When Trump came to Washington and he appointed Elon Musk to slash and burn and get rid of so many things, Social Security, Medicaid, got the Department of Education, so many things. It just goes on, and I just don't know where it's going to stop. But I'm an optimist, and I think it's going to turn out okay in the end. But only if we push back. We've got to push back. So. Anyway, Mr. Bergman, I do have a question for you. In the Department of Veterans Affairs, 1,000 employees have been terminated with plans to cut 70,000 more. Why have you, Jack Bergman, as our representative, not pushed back against Trump and Elon Musk's cuts to these programs? I'd like to know.
I really appreciate all the positive sentiments that people are talking about the VA and the veterans. I'm a veteran. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I was forced to retire 3 years ago, nowhere near ready. When Elon and Trump started this, it scares the hell out of me. Because I need that medical insurance, and I need the support from the VA. And the other sentiment that's been predominant here is people need to stand up. And that's 100% accurate. If we don't stand up, we can't be counted. And everybody in this community needs to stand up for themselves and for their families. And as far as this guy goes, I got nothing to ask of him except for maybe go away. I'm embarrassed to have worn the same uniform.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Belfie. You may recognize the name as I ran for public office. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil Belfie. I ran for public office many, many times, so you may recognize my name. I ran for Congress in 1986 as an independent. But my questions to Jack revolve around my own personal experience. I am a veteran. I do have a disability. I'm also getting care from the Veterans Administration. So it's an important issue for many, many people. I'm also on Social Security, which is also another important in our district. And the third thing I want to mention is I'm American Indian. And we're getting cuts to the Indian Health Service and many, many other programs that benefit tribal people. And I'm very concerned that Jack Bergman is not doing anything on those three issues that affect me directly. So, Midwives, thank you.
Hello, my name is Wendy Grossfield. I'm an honorary UPer. I've only been here 13 years. I was a flaming tree-hugging liberal from Oregon. And so I fit the bill for being liberal. And hate me if you will. But I have found that being born in 1949, I know, a long time ago, when I was a little girl, I went to the movies and we had newsreels before the movies. And they were still playing the newsreels from Nazi Germany. And we're in a learned building that teaches. And I think it's highly important that we learn from the past and we watch what's going on, because it is so scary that the GQP, is what I call them, and Mr. Bergman, I love your fun letters that come back to me when I write your office. They are really interesting. Anyway, don't answer any of my questions, but they're interesting. But I just want to say that at this point, no one's going to save us. He's not going to save us. The damn Republicans certainly aren't going to save us. We are the ones that have to step forward and save ourselves. And we're doing it. And I'm so proud of everybody. I am so proud of everybody. They have this knowledge of what they're doing. And we've got tech and we've got all that. And we have no excuse not to know what's happening. And so we have the power to stand up and be heard. And I've watched it across the country, in places like Idaho, Oklahoma, Utah. I mean, we're alive and we're trying to fight back, and that's what it's going to take. I don't think anybody in Washington is going to save us. So keep going, keep getting out there, keep making those signs, keep attending town halls, joining groups. I'm encouraging everybody to just fight like hell, because we need to. Thanks.
Even if you don't have something that you've maybe prepared before, just come out and say what's on your mind.
Nervous like everyone else. Hi, my name is Dick Jacobson, born and raised in the Sioux.
Microphone, Dick.
Oh, a little higher.
Go right close to it, it's not very loud.
Okay. Yeah, I was an educator as well. First met Hannah at a little, what was it called again?
Yeah, that was.
At the VA. Yeah, trying to protect our benefits. My father-in-law, my dad, broke the heart. A lot of friends died. A lot of friends, yeah, there is we need someone to keep our six. He's not going to do it.
No.
We need to get rid of him. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just have a question for you. You said in 3 of the last 4 primaries he was unopposed. Why can't the Democratic Party in Northern Michigan find somebody to go up against him?
He was
We have.
unopposed in the primary, so he was unopposed on the Republican ticket.
Okay.
We've had good people running for Democrats and they haven't.
Yeah, so he was unopposed when he ran in the Republican primary, so he was the kind of default candidate, if you will. And because we are a red district, he defeated the Democratic opposition.
We need to change that.
We do.
And why can't we get a Democrat to run against him?
We did. We had Callie Barr run. She's a lawyer. Her husband is a disabled Marine. He's I think it was an Afghanistan veteran.
Yeah.
We need someone to keep us back,
Yeah.
as well as the rest of us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, it's a little high for me. I'm challenged. There we go. Am I right? All right. And I think this poster right here is friendlier than Mr. Bergman is in person. I've met him. And I just hear all of this about they're all afraid that there is big money support to run primaries against these incumbents, so that they're not doing anything. They're not fighting Trump because they're afraid somebody's going to primary them. What they should be afraid of is that nobody's going to vote for them. And we're just not going to vote them back in. We're going to business squat the whole time. And I think it's time that we write a new song. Hit the road, Jack. Get the hell out of Doge.
One thing he did agree with, I just got a letter back from his office. He doesn't like Trump taking over the post office. So but he's for it. I mean, he's against it, rather. That's interesting.
One thing.
Feel prepared, sir, as are you. I'm going to do it too. I'm a retired teacher, as I put others. Thank you. And I don't have anything really prepared, but I know the thing that startles me over and over is how somebody can stand there and smile like that and be so amoral.
Yeah.
No thought about the relationships that we fought wars to keep, and now it's a simple black handed pen that can change our worlds that we have we've hidden under desks for. Our parents, my dad was a vet and my grandfather was a vet. And they struggled, as many of you and many people you know have struggled to save this democracy that we've built. And I'm appalled that we have people that represent us because they do not. And that was my question to Mr. B here, that he never answered. What are you doing for me? I said, what are you doing for me? I live up here. I do things to benefit the community and benefit relationships. And he is taking a chainsaw, as we know, kind of handily moved around, to diminish those relationships with other countries, among our community members. I mean, people hesitate to join because you go, are you red or you blue? This isn't about that anymore. It's about what's right, what's moral. So, buddy, to the corner with you.
He looks better though. Where's Waldo?
Hi, I'm Paul Goddard. Sore throat. Well, not. But, I'm curious how you feel about this administration and so many members of Congress cozying up to Russia. Where did this come from? Why are we being hostile towards the young democracy of Ukraine? Why are we being hostile to our best allies? Why are we being hostile towards NATO, Canada? What's going on?
Yes, good evening. Tim Smandl here from the Sioux, and a Canadian. And yes, an American as well. In any event, sorry I don't have a cream pie. Now then, for you, Mr. Bergman, a bit of a refresher course in civics. First off, you do not serve the president. Yes. Article 1 of the Congress and Constitution states explicitly that your duties are to serve those who have elected you to office.
There you go.
You are not our master, you are our servant. You have demoted yourself below our level as citizens to serve our will. And you do not serve Trump. He is not your master. Get that straight once and for all. Now, if you fail to serve us, we have the power to vote you out. That is how the Constitution works. So for once in your life, sell your stupid estate in Louisiana, get back up here, and do as we tell you to do. And by the way, you may have sold your country to Russia, but you will not buy Canada. Thank you.
That's why they didn't take it out.
Yes, it is. It's a little. Okay, good evening. My name is Subi Manor. I'm a librarian. And I just want to ask our congressman why he is not outraged about the 80% layoffs of the staff of the Institute of Museum and Libraries, IMLS. So that's why I wanted to come up here. I don't want to focus on sides and name calling or anything like that. Libraries are for everyone. They are for everyone. It doesn't matter where you live, what you look like, how much money you make, it doesn't matter. Libraries serve everyone. And the state of Michigan depends on IMLS funding for our MELCAT. So our interlibrary loan services, our electronic resources that are peer-reviewed and vetted and factual because they've been reviewed by librarians. It's not just, oh, why do we need libraries? Oh, because everybody has Google. Yeah, because the first answer that comes up is probably going to be an AI compilation that is inaccurate. So Google is not the answer for anybody educating themselves. Libraries are, and people who work in libraries are. So I just want to encourage everyone to talk to people who might not agree with you, but libraries are something that our communities need. It is a foundation for democracy, and if we want to have a democratic nation, we need to support our libraries and schools and education. So, thanks.
They shouldn't tell us what we should have in those libraries either.
Right.
No,
not in democracy.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Jokinen, just like many people in the Twin Sioux community, an American and Canadian. I lived over here in the Canadian side both parts half my life. But I came here to say, because my grandma couldn't make it up here, she's from Lansing, Michigan, and as we all know, that area got hit by the ice storms a few weeks ago. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Bergman, why your office has refused to answer her calls, has refused to get back to her for the past 3 weeks. She's still without power. She's still without internet service. She's still without a landline. She's been using her neighbor's wood stove for heating in the garage. She's from Lansing, Michigan. And I want to know why, Mr. Bergman. You can go to a Republican Party donor meeting in Marquette on Saturday, but you can't bother to show up for your own constituents, for your own voters in northern Michigan, and help them out in this ice storm. So, Mr. Bergman, you are a spineless coward. Thank you.
Yeah. Jotted down a couple of thoughts. I'm Tommy Mackey, professor of outdoor recreation here. Outdoor recreation. I don't have an inside voice, so that's why they keep me outdoors. I also study, my main area of expertise is access and diversity in the outdoors. You don't need to get a PhD to know that diversity makes us stronger. It improves our education, it improves our well-being, definitely improves our outdoors in major, major ways. But I wanted to talk about, specifically, this is the UP. Our forests are our legacy. The systematic dismantling of the U.S. Forest Service and just sustainable timber harvest in general just threatens our entire well-being and the future of this place. If you went out here, right, 100 years ago, 120 years ago, you drove down what is now Highway 28, you would see nothing but scrub, right? We had so systematically, a small number of fat cats who bought cheap land that the US government and the state of Michigan had sold off, cut over our entire forest, and left nothing but scrub, right? And at that time, reneged on their taxes, came into the state of Michigan, came into the federal government. That's why we have this land. And at that time, the state of Michigan decided to invest in the UP for the first time. That this was a place, not a commodity. And our forests are not cheap and they are not expendable. If you want to know what it's like, the extent of the damage that unrestricted capitalism can do to our forests, I'll take you places. I would love to take you on some tours of Kingston Plains, outside Grand Marais, a couple of these other sites where the logging was so severe, so violent, and so aggressive that nothing continues to grow there, right? The stumps won't even rot. And that's what you're putting us at risk of.
I ask you also to write in that vein, respect the teachings of our indigenous nations, of your indigenous nations within your state. You seem to be the only governments. The only government's thinking one generation into the future, let alone the 7 that they teach us to. And I'd like to just end with, we don't need the Line 5 pipeline tunnel. This is one of my things. It may not be everything, but it threatens our fish and it threatens our water. If you really want to piss off Upper Peninsula residents, you threaten our fish, right? When those things start to decline, you will see what happens. Telling us that we need this pipeline in order to heat our homes is a threat. It's a myth and a threat. And anyone who knows the word liberty does not like to be threatened, and we do not like to be ruled. Thank you.
Does the pipeline actually serve Michiganders? No. They don't, right? They sell it elsewhere.
For sure.
Yeah, so why are we putting up with it? It's not if a pipeline is going to leak. It's when a pipeline is going to leak. There has never been a pipeline built yet. The Alaskan pipeline, all of them have leaked. So that myth is just ridiculous. They just share that with us so they can put more money in their coffers. That's it. Sure.
I have a Bergman fun fact for you. So along those same lines, in order to appear like a Yooper fisherman, Jack posted, or one of his staffers supposedly a while ago posted a picture to his Facebook page of him holding a nice big fish, being like, you know, look at me, I'm just a regular Yooper fishing in the UP. And it was a picture of a I don't know, fish. It was like some red fish. It was an ocean fish. He was fishing in the ocean. And then people commented on it saying like, hey, I'm from the UP. I know that that's not anything that we have in our waters. And they just got embarrassed and took it down.
How many people are upset that they're kidnapping people off the street in America? And now they're saying it doesn't have to be immigrants. It could be American citizens.
If you would like to
That
take
right there.
another turn, you absolutely can. I ask that you come and speak into the mic for the benefit of our folks that are going to watch the recording. Go.
I'd be happy to talk about that. That is one of the things that I have called the Congressman's office about. In addition to many other things, my name is Susan Solomon. I'm a teacher in this community, have been for about 20 years. I usually talk about education. I care a lot about education. I see the impact it has on my students and our community. But that is probably one of the things that I've been the most upset, honestly, lately, is to see people being kidnapped off the streets, attack on academia from everyone from college students that are on foreign visas doing their studies, speaking out and dissenting, which is our First Amendment right, to be just taken away and disappeared, to people that are being sent away to El Salvador to concentration camps. What's so incredibly upsetting about that, the human injustices aside, is that our Supreme Court has demanded that our president and his administration return those people, and it's being ignored. And it is our congressman's job to hold our president accountable. These are the checks and balances that we're supposed to have. And if Congress is not doing their job to ensure checks and balances, to make sure that our president is following the rule of law, we do not have checks and balances. Therefore, we don't have a democracy. It feels like our country is disappearing in front of our eyes, and it's very, very upsetting. And it's something that really needs to change. I appreciate the idea that we can't wait for somebody else to save us, that we have to be the ones. We have to be the ones that stand up and stand together and demand that our Congress people do their job. We vote for them, we elect them to office, and they're not doing their job. So we need to be the ones that are standing in the streets and showing up and saying, this isn't okay. We need to make sure that our country is running the way it's supposed to be running. Thank you.
I think we ought to take a a little note out of Evil Elmo's book and send letters to our Congress people and the people in Washington asking for their production this last week. How about if we do that every week? And say, you're not doing your job. This is a merit-based job. Why are you not doing your jobs? It's turn around here.
Okay, so I talk kind of low, but I hope you guys can hear me. I'm Linda. I do want to say a few things. Number one, this was an extraordinary election that we had, and it was horrible. But I also want people to know that the Democrats, a lot of Democrats, are working hard for us. Okay? Let's give them a little credit, because look at Cory Booker, what he did.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's try and think about that. Right now, their hands are tied. They were tied by the vote. They do not have the House, they do not have the Senate, and they have you-know-who in the White House. What I will tell you, and I feel this is good news, but I want people to really believe this, there are more of us than there are of them. Yes. We need to speak up. I have found that running this group, we definitely have people that want to stay quiet and not say anything, and I understand that. But that's what happened in Germany. They did not speak up. They did not, do riots. They did, they might have done some of that, but a lot of them hid in their homes. I know a lot of people would not put out signs in their yards. I put them in my yards. I had so many stickers on my car. I had one that said, yes, he lost, yes, you are in a cult, okay? But also, we need to bring in people on the right. Not all Republicans are bad. There are a lot of Republicans more that are against what he's doing, and more this is coming about, and they're saying, hey, I didn't vote for this, okay? A lot of it was lack of education. People actually felt that this idiot would help the economy. I don't understand that still. Biden did the best he could and did an awesome job. And where we don't agree on everything, he did a good job. He really did a good job. I work with a group, and we're trying to, on May 1st, it's called May Day Strong. We're trying to go to all the small little towns, Cedarville, Pickford, Detour, Brimley, Newberry. Newberry are afraid. They're afraid to come out. But you know what? They're not as many as we are. They just talk louder and they're nastier. Well, I can be nasty too. And I will do what I can to fight this, and I think a lot of you in here feel the same way. We have to do this for our children. I can't imagine this idiot, and I'm sorry, but he's an idiot. He has grandchildren. What kind of world does he think he's leaving his grandchildren? I came from a military family. I worked at the VA for 9.5 years. I love our veterans. They worked hard for us. And the VA has changed a lot. They listen to us. They listen to their staff. And to cut it is a horrible thing, because you're cutting benefits to our veterans. This idiot took an oath when he joined the military. He broke that oath. He took an oath as a senator, or is it a congressman? I think he is. Anyways, he broke that oath, and he's standing up for his party. He is not standing up for the people. So everybody stand up like you're doing, and keep it up. Keep up the good fight. Thank you.
I'm Bridget Russell. Oh, sorry. I'm Bridget Russell. I'm a faculty member here. I just felt really called by what you were saying to share something that I wrote
On January 26th, and I haven't really looked at it since, but it follows the outline of the poem They Came For. I don't know the name of that poem, but I think we all know that poem. They came for the immigrants, and I didn't say anything because I'm not one. I was born here. That's enough, right? They came for the LGBTQ plus community, and I didn't say anything because I'm not one. Who I am is not a crime, yet. They came for the Native Americans, and I didn't say anything because I am not one. It's not like I live on stolen land, right? They came for the abortion patients, and I didn't say anything because I am not one. I would never need such a procedure, right? They came for the doctors, and I didn't say anything because I am not one. Doctors don't really know what they're talking about anyway, though, right? They came for the scientists, and I didn't say anything because I'm not one. Scientists just fake data, though, right? Then they came for me, and there was no one left to say anything. It's not the idle stand to the side that bothers me most. It is the outright cheering that I have physically heard come out of people's mouths for these things in the place that I work. They deserve to get what's coming from them, for them. Or we are going to find them and kick them out. From people who claim to espouse the same beliefs that I do. Why is it justifiable to legislate around others' humanity because you think they are godless and disobedient? So once were you. What is it exactly that you deserve?
You can go, right, Hannah? All right. Oh, well, you can have the timer. It's all good. It's time to set the record straight to you, Congressman Jack Bergman, on your dishonesty, hypocrisy, cowardice, and anti-Semitism, and we're going to do that right now. EUP Solidarity is extremely disappointed in Congressman Bergman's disgusting response to his constituents' desire to meet with him in a public forum during his April recess. You have not met with your constituents in an open public forum since 2017. In response to community outcry over recent developments in the federal government, EUP Solidarity reached out to your office to organize an event so that you could come and hear from and speak with your constituents who are in this room right now. After your Deputy Chief of Staff responded that you had a scheduling conflict, we responded that it was flexible and that we were happy to schedule an event that fit your schedule. Your office then went radio silent. It was then with tremendous shock and sadness, therefore, that we read the Congressman Communications Director's comments in the Sioux Evening News last night. The Congressman's staffer stated that the Congressman is readily accessible and has met with tens of thousands of constituents across the 1st District. He then dismissed EUP Solidarity as a group funded by George Soros. So let's set the record straight. First, the Congressman, you, have not met with constituents in an open public forum since 2017. Instead, you meet with wealthy donors or select groups in controlled settings. So the statement that you are readily accessible is a lie. And to be clear, we would have been delighted to have the event be hosted by the League of Women Voters, the American Legion, the Sioux Evening News, or any other neutral arbiter in our community. What matters is giving our constituents the opportunity to be heard, because we have concerns. Second, EUP Solidarity was founded by community members with long-standing ties to this district. Many of EUP Solidarity's founders are Anishinaabe, and all of its founders are deeply connected to this community. The implication coming from a congressman who spends most of your time, by the way, living in Louisiana, Watersmeet, where you live in the UP, wasn't even plowed all winter long. Okay? So that the fact that we're a group of outside agitators is deeply offensive. Our roots in this community run far deeper than yours. And third, the dismissal of EUP Solidarity as a Soros-funded initiative is offensive, anti-Semitic, and dishonest. EUP Solidarity is a grassroots, community-based organization that was established in response to threats to our social safety net, our tribal sovereignty, American democracy, the environment, and workers' rights. The implication that we are funded by and doing the bidding of an outside billionaire, a Jewish billionaire, reeks of the anti-Semitic tactics used by the Ku Klux Klan in the 1950s and 1960s to diminish the civil rights movement. EUP Solidarity has not received a single dollar from Indivisible, nor has it received a single dollar from any person who lives outside of the 1st District. It is sadly ironic that today's article came out on Yom HaShoah, a day which commemorates the 6 million Jews who were murdered during the Holocaust. EUP Solidarity's founder, myself, is proudly married to a Jew whose family's village was wiped off the map during the Holocaust. I was shocked to see your office spreading old anti-Semitic myths of Jewish financiers secretly manipulating global events. I hope that you will take a moment at this time to reflect on the damage such lies can cause, because we, my whole entire community, and my family, we deserve better.
If George Soros is paying us, where's our checks?
Right?
Yeah. Up my money.
Wouldn't be selling signs outside.
Well, I can't top that, but I'll say in Quebec, they have a saying on their license plate, Je me souviens, I will not forget. In 2026, Mr. Bergman, the people of Northern Michigan District 1, we will not forget. Thank you.
He has dual citizenship, so he can do that.
So I just wanted to talk to you, Jack, for a moment and let you know I've lived in the UP now for over 10 years, and the people of the UP are the kindest, the most hardworking people you'll ever meet, and they are struggling already. And what are they going to do when all of these things are taken away? I just want you to think about that. You would know how wonderful these people are if you ever came to see us. So please come see us and listen to our stories, because they need to be heard.
Hi, I'm Kim. I originally was born in Saginaw, and I moved up here when I was going to school. I met my husband. He's Canadian, and he's nervous because we have family over there. He's a green card holder, and he's really pushing me to get involved. But when I asked for some help for this weekend, he was a little hesitant because he's afraid that they're going to nab him, grab him, and send him somewhere. So, and I also want to know what Mr. Trump has holding over your head. Oh, yeah. My mother thinks I'm naive because I vote Democrat. Well, I'm not that naive. Thank you.
I have another Bergman fun fact for everybody. So Kim mentioned, what is Trump holding over Bergman's head? Well, the flip side of that is this has been quite the gravy train for him, because he is the congressman who has cashed in the most for lodging and meals And yet, out of everybody, out of all of the states, all of the different congressmen, all of our different representatives, he won the prize for charging the taxpayers the most for his lodging and his meals and his travel. Yet he has sponsored the fewest bills and was one of the the least productive congressmen in Congress. So we're just paying him to go on vacation and fly back and forth to DC and charge meals and stay in hotels apparently.
We pay Trump to go. They live.
Alrighty. I'll try to make this short, but I noticed you run as a Republican, you run as a conservative, and what I ask you is, what are you conserving? You're not conserving our liberties or our rights. You're not conserving democracy. You're not conserving the rule of law. You're not conserving our resources up here, our economy, our relations with our neighbors to the north. And those things need protected. They need conserved. And you're not holding up to that. Thank you.
Okay, hi, I'm Judy Hill, business owner, then teacher, then business owner again, and we love this area. And we are disgusted with what's going on. Donald Trump has only been in office, what, 89 days, something like that? And look at the damage that's being done. And if you think it's going to stop there, it's not. He still has 3 years. And you know what? So do you. You only have a couple years. And if you think saying nothing is going to save your job or keep you reelected, you're wrong. We are disgusted with what's going on and what you're doing. You're not doing enough. You need to stand up. As someone said earlier, you don't work for Donald Trump. You work for the people. And you are not doing your job. You are not doing what you need to do for Michigan. And if you think this is going to save your job and keep you reelected, guess what? It's not. Because I don't know what you think in Washington by not saying anything and standing up to Donald Trump. What are you afraid of? What are they all afraid of? Losing their jobs? Is that it? Because you know what? As far as we're concerned, I think someone already prompted this. You can hit the road, Jack. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. Where Jack Low, where are you today? You should be here representing us this way. Don't say any excuse, cause it ain't no good. You got no excuse, you ain't no good. That's right. So hit the road, Jack.
I'm not singing. I'm Jason Kronemeyer. Those who know me know what I'm passionate about in service to my community. I'm a veteran. I learned in the mid-90s the power of the internet to educate people, the power of connectivity to educate people. And some of us, Don included, have dedicated a large part of our career working to get the people of the entire First District connected to the internet so that we can stay informed, stay safe, get our, improve our health, improve our economics, and now we're this close. Congress appropriated $48 billion in the Infrastructure and Jobs Act. The frosting on the cake. There's been nearly 350 to 400 million invested in infrastructure to get broadband everywhere in the First District. And right now, when we're down to 10% of the 100,000 homes in the UP that don't have funding dedicated to get fiber to them, we get a changeover in Congress and a changeover in administration, and we got to put everything on hold. So there's a bill right now called Speed for BEAD, and it's supposed to speed up the process because they say, oh, it's been 3 years and they haven't done anything, so we're going to speed it up. But we just slowed it down by 90 days. Well, from the time you appropriate to the time you actually get the country scaled up to build fiber optics or launch satellites or put in Earth ground stations, you've got to scale up your manufacturing, you've got to scale up your workforce, you've got to scale up all of the planning and engineering it takes to make that happen. And now, we're in rural areas and we're going to slow things down. It's going to put us 2 more years behind for something that we should have had 20 years ago. So it's Harold Lichtnick, who's the senator that is basically introduced the bill that's supposed to speed everything up, but it's really slowing everything down. That all we really need is better interagency coordination between the FCC, the NTIA, the USDA, and the Department of Commerce, and stop double funding. In the Eastern Upper Peninsula alone, there are the USDA and the FCC have targeted investments, double investments. So good news, some people are going to get fiber twice. But those are the things that we just need to keep things going and not try to put our own stamp on or try to slow things down in the name of speeding things up. So, Don, we're almost there. 2 years. When I am a veteran, and I was an E4, so I would have had to salute you when I was in the Air Force. But now I outrank you.
I think we have all seen watching the news, the Gestapo in the United States grabbing the girl off the street. I mean, they stopped her, they had masks on, they stuffed her.
Sorry, Don.
Don't hit me, Judy. Okay. But anyway, I think we've all seen that, you know, they stopped her on the street. She was a college scholar from another country. And I couldn't believe it. I think there was at least one woman and at least 4 guys. And this little girl is walking along the street. They corner her. They have masks on. They stuff her in a van, and she disappears. I think she ended up somewhere, maybe in Louisiana with Jack.
Yeah.
But that is really frightening. I mean, if you want to look back in history, that's the way the Gestapo operated. And we can't have that. I just can't believe it happened, and that Jack is allowing the president to ignore what the Supreme Court has called for.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm not a veteran, but I've had opportunities to swear an oath, and I know he has, but he's completely ignoring that oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and it just has to stop. So, I won't
Sorry. I have a lot to say. I live alone, what can I say? So, the issue about the correlation between what's happening to us and what happened in the 30s in Germany. It only took Hitler 53 days to take over the democratic country of Germany. And how he did it was blitzkrieg. He went in, he went fast, he went into all the departments. He started breaking them up from the inside, exactly what's happening now. And the broadband fellow, sorry, I forgot your name, are you sure those departments still have enough people in there to get these things done? Because that's what they're doing. They're reducing the people whose responsibility it was to get us our Social Security checks, to see that our health care is taken care of, to defend. They've gotten rid of the Consumer Protection Agency, so that the billionaires can just rip us off, and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it just goes to the basic core of our country and what we stand for, and they have destroyed or tried to, or in the middle of trying to right now. And the very idea that Donald Duck is absolutely ignoring his bought and paid for Supreme Court, that is scary, because that is, everybody goes, oh, we're headed towards a constitutional crisis. Sorry, kids, we've been there since he took office, period. It didn't take but days before he started this nonsense. So as I said, it's going to take us not going to sleep, not taking breaks. I mean, yes, we all need our mental health breaks because this stuff is nuts. But we need to rest, repair, and get the heck back out on the streets and show up every place you can.
We're going to start wrapping up. I'd like to encourage anyone who has not had the opportunity to speak yet to grab on to that little spark of courage and come forward. It's a nice group here. Nobody will make fun of you. You can come and speak what's on your mind. While you're pondering that, I would like to take an opportunity to speak. Again, my name is Hannah Burton Parrish. I'm from the Sioux, born and raised. I'm back here after a little while downstay. I did marry a troll, unfortunately, so I had to do my time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we're back now. I am a speech language pathologist. I work with within the disability community. It's very important to me. I'm also a woman who has a disability, unfortunately, chronic illness type that's gotten worse over the past couple of years. And the importance of these services, I just can't even begin to tell you how many families and individuals and students I've worked with who have cried in my office because they're so concerned about the fact that they felt like they weren't getting very much help to begin with, and now it's all going away. There have been programs, transition programs for high schoolers with disabilities, trying to figure out where they fit into the world. That's been cut. Funding for CMH, funding for Head Start, funding for Medicaid, Medicare. This is all coming down the pipeline, and it's really an effort to increase homelessness, increase early death, increase suicide, increase institutionalization, and rid ourselves of a population that really needs support. And it's heartbreaking. And, you know, I've been accused of not being this group isn't truly nonpartisan. You know, it's, all liberal, Democrat, To me, this is a clear nonpartisan issue. No matter, what your voting policy is on foreign policy or different things like that, we can all agree that the disability community needs our support. There needs to be a plan for these people, and they cannot be ignored. So I would implore people to talk with your friends and families and loved ones and have those tough conversations, because if we don't all wake up, everybody in this room is already awake and seeing the problems that are happening right now in our own community. But we need to work on helping others get to that point where they see the truth and they'll stand with us against these horrendous actions that the administration is taking. And just to let everybody know, for everybody who's on Social Security, our Attorney General, Dana Nessel, she has on our state site now, she has a place where you can report disruptions to your Social Security. So if you've tried to call and you haven't been, gotten back to you, if there's been your check has been delayed or is incorrect or anything like that happens, please report it, because these are real things that are happening. This is not just fear mongering. So we all need to stand together. Thank you.
Yeah. My name's Debbie. I hate talking on a microphone, but had to. I don't want Jack Bergman to be here because I watched his town halls in 2017. Online, I don't remember if it's YouTube or Facebook, but I want to say it was Facebook because it was live. I had heard about the one in Gaylord, so I watched the one in Escanaba at Beta Community College, where I got my associates from, and I was pissed. He not only hand-selected questions ahead of time, but the president at the time was standing up on the stage with him, and there was armed guards in the room with dogs. And I thought, what in the hell? I called the president's office the next morning. I wrote a letter. I couldn't believe that a school that I had gone to, it didn't even look like America. So I don't want that ass here at all, seriously. As far as I'm concerned, his oath means jack shit to him. Honestly, I have a son that's active military, and it scares the bejesus out of me because DEI is disappearing, and he's part Native, and he was awarded a while ago. He did an interview online. Now they aren't allowed to talk about it, anything having to do with what they are and who they are. And he's torn, and I know he will follow orders, and it pisses me off. Because it's like Germany, right? All of it. Planned Parenthood of Marquette closed, do we all know that? Like, I can remember my mom being excited in the 60s, I was a little kid, right? when she got to finally get on the pill, because she had 5 kids, and she was 23. And now they're gonna start giving money to women that have babies? What the hell, are we the Handmaid's Tale? Like, we need to look at everything that's going on right now, you know? And if there's a war with Canada, we're right here. I mean, seriously?
I'd fight with them.
I'm over there several times a week, like this is crazy. We need to wake up.
Is there anybody else who would like to make a comment?
Can I have a second?
Please.
I had a third, still haven't heard
I hope you're all aware that this Saturday there is a friendship rally, I believe it's called, 1 o'clock, and I think it's at corner of Ashman and Portage. I'm certainly planning to be there. I just bought a couple of nice pieces of foam core today to make a couple signs. I believe my wife is going to be with me too. So I encourage all of you, if you are concerned especially about this 51st state nonsense, to be there and show the way we feel. This guy is the representative of a district that borders Canada. There's probably only, I don't know, maybe 30 representatives in the United States from districts that border Canada. He's one of them. He should be taking a lead to squelch that foolishness about 56 states.
We have time for a couple more. If you want to come on up, please do. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Thank you for your patience. A few of you in here may remember Harry S. Truman. Splendid. In his oral autobiography, published shortly after his death by Merle Miller, Truman relates in it his last days of the presidency in January 1953, when he and his wife, the boss, were packing up to head back to Independence, Missouri. One of his aides, well-meaningly but a bit naively, asked him, "Well, Mr. Truman, now that you're stepping down from public life to private life," and Truman said, "Now hold it right there, Sonny. Do you mean to tell me you have been with me all these years and you still do not understand how democracy works? It's quite simple. If you are to be elected to public office, you deliberately demote yourself below the level of the people who you serve." Frankly, on that note, I'm looking forward to my promotion. Thank you.
Last call for someone who has not spoken yet. Last call. I'm about to hand it over to Dr. Chloe Cannon, but before I do, you all should have received a piece of paper with a QR code on it. Please fill out the survey. This is the first time we've held this type of event, and we really would appreciate your feedback, and we really would, it's anonymous, so feel free to say what you mean. But if you do want to hear more about events that we're holding in the future, that email sign-up list will be where we send that information. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you so much.
Let's please give Hannah one more round of applause.
Just very quickly, so again, a couple just friendly, first of all, I just want to say there was over 90 people here tonight, so congratulations for that. My husband for doing it. Just very quickly, so yes, there is the Canada rally this weekend. please feel free if you have any questions to ask Linda or Kim in the back. They're back here, EUP Indivisible. They're doing a lot of that work on that. But then also, I've gotten a couple messages about those who want to make the drive over to Marquette to see Jack. He is going to be there at his Republican fundraiser, and we're going to have all of the Indivisible chapters across Michigan Congressional District 1 there, and we'll raise our voices from 4:30 to 6:30, and then there is an optional social event that their group over there is paying for from 7 to 9 o'clock. So if you would like to caravan over with us, I'm already, there's people that are following along. We're going to have a live stream. We're going to do some fun things. You want to go meet some other like-minded people and you want to take a road trip, come on with us to Marquette. So there's that. Yes, Deb?
Yeah, also there's a bus coming over from Marquette, as well as people coming over here. I'm a member of Youth Unite from Marquette. And they're bringing a bus load over here, and there might be a bus from Holt and Hancock coming. They're still working on that. And that's to be at the Eagle on Saturday at 1.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of, we were talking with the Indivisible folks over in Marquette. We talked about there's going to be a lot of ships crossing in the night, but and I think that's what's really great. What Linda was talking a little bit about May Day. There's going to be tons of pop-ups, as we call them. What's really important in this moment is building community and continued resistance and raising your voices. So we don't want people to burn out, so do what you can, get involved as much as you want to. There's tons of ways for you to get involved, whether, you want to know how to run for public office, or you want to get involved in more regular protests and things like that, or informational things. If you want to put your use to social media, or you want to start organizing, or if you want to start getting youth involved in this, youth, we need you in this. There's lots of different ways to get involved. Please reach out. Again, these ballot initiatives are going to be happening this summer, and that is what's going to be also very, very exciting. More about that will be coming soon. And so please feel free. You can reach out to me anytime. I know that, sometimes it's really intimidating if you've never been involved politically, but we welcome everyone, whether you've been involved in this for decades and you're doing this, again for another round, to those who have never done this in their entire life. You're all welcome here, and just know that this is a big tent movement, and it was an honor to have all of you up here. I will be around if anybody has questions. I heard some people being like, I want to pose with Jack. So if you want to take pictures up with Jack, we'll keep him up here for a few minutes. Have some fun. This is a joyful event. We'll be selling signs outside for Where's Bergman, and again, I bought some signs to just cover the cost of the room, because I gotta pay that back. But thank you all so much for coming. It really was an honor, and please make sure that you sign up on email so we can send you more things. If you are a member, which means you're on our email list, of EUP Solidarity or Linda's group EUP Indivisible, there is going to be a meetup with people who are members of the Indivisible chapter with Gary Peters' staff. On this upcoming, is it Monday, Linda, or Tuesday? The date's on my thing, but get on our email list if you want to do that. You can send questions ahead of time, but again, there's lots of different ways to start getting involved in all of this, but it's really been a privilege. Chi Miigwetcher, thank you very much, and have a great night.